Whilst Darrell Feingold is an analyst on US and Asia relations, he's joining us live from Taiwan's capital, Taipei, by Skype. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Given the spread of coronavirus in the US, is this a slightly strange time for the health secretary to be traveling?
Yeah, that's a fair question. And to the extent that people in the U.S. might pay attention to this, it's a valid question that's going to be asked. But there's the diplomatic and the bilateral relationship aspects between the United States and Taiwan that makes this visit appropriate. And certainly among politicians in the United States, whether Democrats or Republicans in Congress, across the administration, there's going to be great support for this visit because policymakers in the U.S. generally favor closer relations between the United States and Taiwan.
Is this all about COVID-19 and the U.S. learning from the experience of Taiwan, or is there an additional message being sent given the dynamics that there are between China and Taiwan and, of course, between China and the U.S.?
Yeah, it's definitely more the optics and the message being sent to the Taiwan government and the people of Taiwan, as well as to the government in China, as far as what level the U.S. wants the relationship with Taiwan to be. Obviously, the health secretary is not going to learn much during a 3-day visit. And in fact, Taiwan and the United States have announced various initiatives over the course of this year about joint efforts to do research on vaccines. They've had video conferences between the U.S. Health Secretary Azar and his equivalent counterpart here in Taiwan. So it is more about the public relations and the messaging than it is about anything that Azar could learn being here on the ground for a short period of time.
China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been saying it's firmly opposed to any official interactions between the U.S. and Taiwan. As we mentioned before, it's threatening to retaliate. What can it actually do?
Well, it's within the context of the broader relationship. So we have all these various back and forth actions, whether it has to do with closing consulates, visas for scientists, students, journalists in both sides, trade issues, obviously, Hong Kong, South China Sea, both sides increasing the scope of their military exercises. So China could expel U.S. diplomats. They could slow down implementation of the Phase 1 trade agreement that was reached earlier this year. It's really more of the same, though, because the U.S. and Taiwan have had various levels of interactions, weapons sales, as you mentioned, and China will react, but it doesn't necessarily cause the U.S. to stop the trajectory of U.S.-Taiwan relations simply because China's foreign ministry issues an angry statement or China takes some other retaliatory action.
Boss Darrell Feingold, we appreciate your expertise in this. Thank you very much indeed for giving us your time on Al Jazeera.